Tim Burton and others have come forward and said that this is a Halloween movie. Backed up even by Blink-182. We can live like Jack and Sally if we want, and you can always find me. We'll have Halloween on Christmas. In the night, we'll wish this never ends. Hello, and welcome back to Is This for Kids? I'm Jonathan Beard Blevins.
I'm Katie, Mrs. Ruby Rubalcaba.
And we are about to talk about The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes. Nightmare Before Christmas is a movie about Jack Skellington, who is the sort of the king of Halloween Town. He gets lost in the woods after Halloween, sort of soul-searching, figuring out what his life is all about, and he finds this forest that shows you all of the different holidays, and he stumbles into Christmas and feels like, oh my goodness, this is a whole world that's never been open to me before, and decides that Halloween Town is going to take over Christmas, and with hilarious results, the skulls coming as Christmas presents, that kind of thing. He decides he's going to be Santa Claus himself. So that's sort of the premise of the movie.
A darker Grinch.
Yeah, like a Grinch who's not trying to spoil Christmas, but somehow manages to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming up in...
This is Halloween.
This is Halloween.
It's still spooky season.
It is.
And what were you about to say? It's coming up on what?
It's coming up on Halloween, was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And I believe Tim Burton is on record that this is a Halloween movie.
I was going to ask you, are you Team Halloween or Team Christmas for what this movie is for?
I say both.
That's incorrect.
Well,
Tim Burton and others have come forward and said that this is a Halloween movie. Backed up even by Blink-182. We can live like Jack and Sally if we want, and you can always find me. We'll have Halloween on Christmas. And in the night, we'll wish this never ends.
Uh-huh.
What a song.
What a great song.
So, true story.
What's John's age again?
No, that's a good joke.
Yeah.
I could do this all day long because they're one of my favorite bands, but that would be distraction. What was that? You're laughing?
No.
Here's the deal. I sometimes don't understand cultural references. Let me just make fun of myself here. I was yesterday years old at 35 when I learned that Space Jam is called Space Jam because the aliens are from space and they're playing basketball. Never once thought of it. Ever. I was just like, Space Jam. This is what it's called.
Why?
No idea. Didn't click.
He's like, they're in a space.
Blink-182 is one of my top 5 all-time favorite bands. Did not know that Jack and Sally reference was a Nightmare Before Christmas reference until I rewatched this movie.
My God.
And now it made me love the movie even more.
That is so embarrassing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's like when you live in, it's just like to be me. Thoughts?
About being you?
Yep.
Well, I'd have a lot more hair.
That's a compliment. People think I'm balding.
Are you?
Well, I would say everyone is, right? I mean, if you really think about it, everyone's balding at some point.
Sure.
I'm like kind of half, it's thinning up here, but not enough to shave the head.
Can we get a close-up?
No. And then like here, it's like a little receding, but not quite. I know I'm not going to be that guy that holds on to his hair for too long.
Yeah.
As soon as it's time, we get more tattoos, we shave it off. We keep the beard.
More tattoos? Why is the tattoos necessary?
Just because when you're bald and you have a beard and you have tattoos, it's a really good look.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
So back to Nightmare Before Christmas.
Perfect.
How many times have you seen this movie?
I can't even count the number of times I've seen this movie.
So a lot.
Yeah, my oldest daughter loves this movie.
So she likes Tim Burton and Tim Burton style things. She liked Coraline, you mentioned at a previous episode.
Yeah, she went through a phase in her childhood. I think now she would very much balk at the idea that she's a Tim Burton fan, but at a phase of her childhood, she was a huge Tim Burton fan and she likes weird stuff.
It sounds like your daughter's like the new version of emo kids, which is awesome.
Yes, emo kids who play a lot of Fortnite.
Yeah, that's for sure what emo kids would do.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay. Just because you did?
I'm an emo kid.
Yeah.
Fortnite wasn't out back then, but I totally would have.
Yeah, for sure.
So Tim Burton, I have learned that I really respect Tim Burton, but that I'm not necessarily a huge fan.
What do you respect about Tim Burton?
First of all, the stop motion part of this film is it's my favorite of any other form of stop motion. I mean, it is crazy that they did that.
You know he didn't direct this, right? He produced it.
He produced it.
Yeah.
But still, he has something to do with that.
Yeah, Henry Selick, I think, is the director.
Who also said that it is a...
Or maybe I'm saying his name
Halloween
wrong.
movie.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I may be getting his name wrong, so I feel bad if I did. I'm going to look it up really quick.
That's what having computers is for in this podcast.
Yeah, Henry Selick.
Yeah.
But
it's like there's this dark theme in a lot of Tim Burton stuff. Some dark themes, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah, he's dark, and not just dark, but like kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coraline. Same vein.
Which I understand. Like I can see that it is objectively good in making movies, but it's just not my style.
See, I feel like it falls into that, like, I'm a film student and therefore I think this should be good kind of style, because moodiness and darkness is generally considered arty, but it's not for me. I also hate Wes Anderson though, so.
My 2023 millennial way of explaining this is that when the Rotten Tomatoes score is higher than the audience score, that's how you know it's too artsy of a film. Like,
that's fair.
When the audience, I'm always team audience
understand.
score. When the audience score is super high and the Rotten Tomatoes one is low, like I'm 99% of the time team audience.
Yeah.
Every Tim Burton movie, I'm pretty sure, is a higher rating.
High critics, low on the beats.
100%.
Yeah.
But here's the thing for me. I like the movie. I love the music. I didn't like music as a kid. I did like music, but not musicals or musical things in movies. I didn't understand it. I was kind of bored. Fantasia, when I was a kid, I hated it.
Well, Fantasia's all classical music.
Yeah,
There's
boring.
no words. Yeah, okay.
Apparently, looking back, I'm like, I need to rewatch it because my community makes fun of me all the time. Like, it's so good. Okay. Well, but here's the thing. When I was a kid, like, as I've talked about on this podcast, I was kind of sheltered. So, like, the littler things that don't scare everyone scared me. So I didn't love this as a kid. But looking back now and watching it and knowing the Blink-182 reference and how it's kind of this emo thing, I'm kind of all in.
How much of it is Blink-182 related?
80%. I'm kind of all in on Jack and Sally at the moment.
You know that they're not dating, right? Like
I know.
There's like this whole thing that makes them look like they're a relationship. They're not.
They're friends.
There's no love interest whatsoever.
Well, because they're skeletons. They're campy.
Well, one of them is a corpse that's been sewn back together. It's a reanimated corpse.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She might be a doll, but I think she's a corpse.
So what are your thoughts in general? There's a one scene. What's the name of the scary guy again?
Boogie.
Oh my gosh. The Oogie Boogie with the bugs crawling out.
Yeah. That's a lot, isn't it?
I still have nightmares about that.
Yeah. So for me, I saw this movie as a kid. I think I saw it in the theaters, honestly, but I don't remember for sure. But I definitely saw it on video a bunch of times as a kid, and then it kind of reemerged. It fell out of favor for a long time, a lot like what we were talking about earlier, that Hocus Pocus. It went away, and then it kind of came back again. Seems like it was sort of a similar situation with this one. But rewatching it as an adult, I wasn't scared as a kid. I think it's fine now, but some of my kids found it boring and other ones found it entertaining. So it really kind of depends on your kid, to me.
For your kids, is it basically just the music? If you like music, you're gonna like it. If you don't like it in a movie, then you're not gonna like it.
So for my kids, the movie was kind of fun for them if they're the ones of my kids who were into kind of that darker situation. But if they're my younger daughter, my middle daughter, I'm sorry, who more likes the music, once the first couple of songs, what's that's over, she's out. She's done. She's not going to even sit and watch it. She'll go outside and play.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thoughts on whether or not it is for kids?
So I would say that there's no sex, obviously, since everybody's dead. Gross. No, never mind. Sorry, I was going to say something inappropriate. I stopped myself.
Good job.
We'll edit that back out. Okay. No sex. There's no...
no language.
No language, no swears, no violence, really. It's really just kind of campy scares, you know? The thing that is the big scare is Oogie Boogie, who is full of worms and maggots and things like that fall out of him, and the very, very creepy children who are kidnapping Santa Claus.
Yeah.
But for me, that's really mild, and I think if your kid can handle slight weirdness, they're good to go. I would call it 8+.
8+. How are we this far off every single episode?
What are you about to say?
This is crazy to me. So I'm with you on everything you just said. I do think it's a little creepy. There's that girl who's like imprisoned and she just keeps taking her own limbs off and stuff.
Yes.
That's weird.
Yeah.
For me as a kid, I remember being like, wow, that's kind of messed up. But I'm with you. Like,
she's poisoning her father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is messed up. So, but I'm going to go that it's based on the kid. If your kid is easily scared or sensitive, like mine are, my kids would hate this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I almost guarantee my middle son, who likes to pretend that he's tough and he's the one who's like super highly sensitive, he'd be like, I want to watch it. And then he'd watch it and cry and have nightmares and be terrified. and then afterwards be like, I liked it. It's like, okay, no, you're not, it's not for you yet. My 8-year-old wouldn't even want to watch it just because he'd be like, oh, that guy's creepy looking in the picture. My 8-year-old won't even look at previews sometimes. He's like, movies are lame. I'd rather watch a TV show. And it's like, oh, he has it in his head that movies are dumb.
Okay.
That's not from me, by the way, because I love movies. So for me, I'm like, my kids, they would not like it. But I would say if your kids are okay with scarier stuff, like 7 and up.
Oh, but that's not super far off. It's an 8.
How in this movie am I going younger than you?
It's 1 year.
It never happens.
It's like
this is probably the first or second time that's happened.
Second grade.
So I'm proud of myself.
Yes, very, very
You're a prude.
There's no sex in this movie.
Get owned. For those who are fans of this podcast, you should rate it 5 stars. Go to isthisforkids.com. Rate it on every single platform that you can. Give us comments and feedback on what we should be reviewing next.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear it because we got Christmas is coming up. We want to hear all the Christmas movies that you need to look over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before that, we hope you have a great Halloween. We want to dispel a couple of rumors here for our friends.
Just, while you're going out for Halloween with your kids, you don't need to check their candy for razor blades. That's an urban legend. It's literally never happened.
My mom actually did that, but you probably should throw away the candy that does look open, no?
Well, yeah, probably.
Yeah. And another urban legend, which maybe has become a thing now in a couple of places around the country, but certainly it seemed like every single city had a haunted house that was 50 stories and you paid $500 and everyone could touch you. And then if you made it to the top, you get your money back.
Oh, I'm not going to that.
Maybe there's 1 or 2 in the country by now, but that's been an urban legend for 20 years. Not a thing.
Not a real thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Until next time, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.